Hey guys, welcome back to Canon Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing the new Netflix film, The Harder They Fall, directed by James Samuel. Now, first and foremost, this cast is stacked. You have Idris Elba, you have Jonathan Majors, you have Regina King, you have Lakeith Stanfield, you have Delroy Lindo, you have friggin' Zazie Beetz. Like, that is a stacked cast. And I had a freaking blast watching this movie. It is one of the most entertaining movies of the year that Netflix has made. It's been kind of rough for Netflix, but I have to say, in the age of streaming, they do take a lot of risks and they take a lot of different scripts and different, artistic styles from filmmakers. And I think that that's really important on your streaming service. But The Harder They Fall is a very well-written Western. It's entertaining as hell. The soundtrack is fantastic. And normally I do not really like Westerns. I don't gravitate towards it, but my dad is a huge fan of John Wayne. I grew up with so many different Westerns. He's a huge fan and he really got me into them. So I always try to watch the modern day ones to see if they can kind of change the genre up a bit. What James Samuel does is that you have the typical, Western genre conventions, but he modernized it. And he added his own style to it. And it's a very well-written story. I think the payoff at the end is absolutely fantastic. There's an emotional pull with your lead characters, and it's just so strong all the way through, very engaging. I did like the fact that Samuels played with the soundtrack. He played with musical aspects within the film, and then even with the framing and the camera work, it's all just very fun and different and unique. And I think that's really important when you have a genre like the Western where it's very generic at times and they're like your run-of-the-mill, like you have the good guys, you have the bad guys, they come together, shoot out, bada bing bada boom, rob a couple banks, blah blah blah. Like it's all very simple, but it's how you execute it. And I think that James Samuels did an incredible job with this. I had a lot of fun, as I said before. So without spoilers, you do have one outlaw who has an enemy, and he finds out that he is getting out of jail because he has been pardoned. On one side, we have Idris Elba, Lakeith Stanfield, and Regina King. And then on the other side, we have Jonathan Majors, Zazie Beetz, and Delroy Lindo. So the standouts for me were RJ Cyler as Jim Beckworth and Danielle Deadwyler as Cuffy. The two of them were just so strong and truly were the MVPs of this film. Personally, I think Danielle Deadwyler was so good as Cuffy, and I was really surprised at what she did in the second half of this film. Like, she owned her scenes, a clear standout. I loved her in this. She was so good. I just think that out of all the Netflix films that have come out, I feel like this is the most polished in the director's vision and style and what he wanted to do and how he wanted to execute this Western. I think it was really important that you understood his style and the tone that he sets from the very beginning with these characters, with Jonathan Majors and Idris Elba and their own teams, essentially. You see two different sides of Texas and two different versions of outlaws. I think that was really cool how you had like an older set of people and then a younger set of people, and they're all after the same thing. They just kind of execute things differently. So I really enjoyed that. I absolutely adored the opening credits. I thought it was so well done, and you pretty much showed who's on whose side, the actors that are in this, stacked on stacked on stacked. You also have the theme song to The Harder They Fall, and that kind of flows into every piece of the soundtrack. So I thought that was really well done. And then what I really appreciated is that, well, are they going to show The Harder They Fall, the title? Are they going to do it in a really cool way? And they did. And I was so happy that right at the very beginning, the shots that they took, the editing, the freeze, just all of it for The Harder They Fall. And then you have the opening title card. I thought it was wicked. So right then and there, within the first 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm sold. I am sold. I don't even care what happened in this movie. I'm just so excited to watch this because it's going to be fresh. It's going to be different. And that's what James Samuels does. And I fell in love with this. It's possibly going to slide into my top 10 this year because Westerns aren't made anymore. And I'm really happy Netflix took this chance with an all Black cast. They were all phenomenal, all people that we love. And you have some like fresh faces that come up and they surprise you. So I was just really, really happy with this movie. It's so great. It's a lot of fun. The kills are awesome. The draws are awesome. The blood was really good as well. Not that that's like the best thing to talk about, but it was just so cool and so well done. The action was great. Really love that. But I do have to touch upon the two badass women in this movie. First of all, Regina King is a queen. Hands down, she's a queen. I've grown to love Zazie Beetz. I think she's really unique as an actor, and I'm happy that she got one of these supporting roles as Stagecoach Mary, and you have Regina King as Trudy. So I loved having them have these conversations, and I loved their standoffs, and I just thought that their energy together was something special to see on screen. It was just so cool. I love their scenes. They were complete badasses. And again, the cinematography, the direction, I love the framing. There's some beautiful, beautiful shots in this. And James Samuel just wanted to make the movie that he wanted to make. And I'm really happy that Netflix just gave him the reins and he did whatever he wanted, because this is just so great. And sometimes these films, if it's like highly stylized, and everything else, like either the script or the soundtrack or the editing, the costumes, they're not like at the same level as the style and the flair that the director presents. It kind of does fall apart a bit, but every single aspect, the production design was just stunning. The costume design was, the costumes that they had, the fits were beautiful, like legit. They all look so great. So costume design, production design, the soundtrack, just everything, the color palette that was used, like it was just so vibrant, refreshing, and a lot of fun to sit through. This entire cast was fantastic. They all had great chemistry with each other. And I do have to mention, even though Idris Elba was a lead, kind of took a back seat, Jonathan Majors has this amazing star power as a leading man that I can't even explain to you. It's just when someone has it, someone has it. And Jonathan Majors stole every single scene that he was in. Like he's a powerhouse of a leading man, and I just want him to be in more, because it's just a feeling you get. You want to see more of him. You want him to take on these awesome roles, and he really killed it in this. They all did, and it was so great to see Delroy Lindo back on screen as well, and have him working with Jonathan Majors again. So I really love this cast. The story's very well written. I did not expect that ending whatsoever. You do feel the runtime a bit, but only in like the last 15 minutes, I'd say. But the build up and the tension and the anticipation to that final standoff worked. I really liked the third act. It worked for me. I love this movie. I thought it was really good. If you guys enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. You can always find me over at AMXND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Come join in on the conversation. I'll probably be talking about Jonathan Majors for the rest of the weekend. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.